In the arid winds of ancient Egypt, amidst the shifting sands of forgotten tombs and shattered idols, a name haunts the ruins like a phantom, Nefertiti. Her name, meaning, the beautiful one has come, was once chanted in gold-lined temples and carved into the sacred stones of Amarna. Yet she is not merely remembered for her beauty. She was a queen, a co-ruler, and perhaps even a pharaoh who vanished mysteriously from the records of time. The historical puzzle of Queen Nefertiti is wrapped in secrecy, silence, and sudden disappearance. No one knows exactly where she came from, and no one can say for certain where she went. It is this dark uncertainty that makes her story a perfect fit for the torture vault, a tale buried beneath layers of political betrayal, religious war, and royal blood. Nefertiti appears in Egyptian history like a ghost with no past. Scholars have long debated her origins. Some claim she was the daughter of a high-ranking courtier named Ai, who would later become pharaoh himself. Others speculate that she came from Mitanni, a foreign princess offered in marriage as part of a sacred alliance. But no record confirms it definitively. She arrived in the palace of Akhenaten, Egypt's heretic king, not as a shadow, but as a blazing light. She wasn't merely the king's wife, she became his ideological partner in one of the most dangerous religious revolutions in Egyptian history. Together, they would overthrow centuries of polytheistic worship and elevate a single, blazing sun, Aten, as the one true God. This was no minor reform. This was spiritual sedition. Akhenaten and Nefertiti desecrated temples of Amen and suppressed the powerful priesthoods. With Nefertiti at his side, Akhenaten shifted the capital from Thebes to an isolated desert stretch called Akhenaten, a new city built for a new god. In this eerie landscape of towering temples open to the sky, the royal couple ruled with iron devotion to Aten. But Nefertiti was more than a spiritual mascot. Reliefs show her smiting enemies, a symbol of royal power once reserved for kings. She wasn't just queen, she was co-sovereign. And some argue, she wore the double crown of pharaoh. But just as quickly as she ascended, she vanished. Around the 12th or 14th year of Akhenaten's reign, Nefertiti disappears from all records. No tomb, no funeral texts, no mummy. It was as if Egypt wanted to erase her, or needed to. Was she murdered? Did she fall from power? Or did she transform into someone else entirely, adopting a new identity as a male ruler named Neferneferuaten or even Smenkhkare? Her fate remains one of the most chilling unsolved riddles in ancient history. Nefertiti's disappearance mirrors the vanishing of Amarna itself, a ghost city abandoned shortly after the revolution ended. Even her image, the iconic limestone bust now housed in Berlin, holds secrets. Its neck is too long, its beauty too perfect. Some argue it's not a likeness but a symbol, a mask of divine femininity, or perhaps, a clever deception hiding someone else beneath the stone. Who was Nefertiti really? The answer is hidden in the cryptic silence left behind in crumbling walls, erased names, and forbidden prayers. In the sun-scorched halls of Amarna, Nefertiti was no ordinary queen. She wielded power with a ferocity that eclipsed many kings. She ruled beside Akhenaten not as a passive consort but as a ruler in her own right. Evidence from temple reliefs reveals Nefertiti in military poses, striking enemies, standing in divine radiance, and wearing the royal blue crown typically reserved for pharaohs. She was the only queen of Egypt depicted this way. And this wasn't symbolic, it was political. She had seized authority in a male-dominated system and dared to play pharaoh on her own terms. This level of power was dangerous. It placed her in direct opposition to powerful enemies, the priesthood of Amen, the military elite, and traditionalists across the empire. These forces had been silenced by the cult of Aten, but they simmered in the shadows, waiting for their chance. Nefertiti had crossed the line from queen to ruler, and in Egypt, that meant she was expendable. Her religious role also made her a target. She was the high priestess of Aten, orchestrating sun worship ceremonies and leading the people in prayers to a god that many loathed. Her spiritual leadership was her strength, and her curse. But Nefertiti may have been playing an even deeper game. Some scholars believe she orchestrated the empire's spiritual revolution, using Akhenaten as a puppet while she ruled from behind the veil. Evidence suggests she may have taken on a male persona, Neferneferuaten, after Akhenaten's mysterious death. Neferneferuaten ruled Egypt briefly before the child king Tutankhamun came to the throne. Was Nefertiti disguising herself as a male pharaoh to preserve her power in a collapsing regime? If true, it makes her one of the most cunning figures in ancient history, a queen who became king and then vanished under a mask. The plot thickens with the arrival of Smenkhkare, another short-lived ruler whose name appears during the final years of the Amarna period. Some believe Smenkhkare and Neferneferuaten were the same person, possibly Nefertiti, operating under different names. Others believe Smenkhkare was a separate male figure, perhaps a younger brother of Akhenaten or a son from another wife. But there's no solid proof. The records are broken, names chiseled out, cartouches defaced. Someone wanted this era erased. And in that destruction lies a dark truth. Nefertiti was too powerful to be remembered. So she was erased. The Amarna period ends with a whisper, not a scream. Nefertiti is gone. Akhenaten is dead. The city of Akhenaten is abandoned. And the worship of Aten is outlawed. Egypt snaps back to its old ways with brutal speed. Temples of Amen are rebuilt. Priests regain control. And the name of Nefertiti is never spoken again in official histories. But history has a way of reviving ghosts. And Nefertiti's spirit lingers, in statues, in fragments, and in rumors that refuse to die. For decades, archaeologists have scoured Egypt's sands in search of Nefertiti's final resting place. Yet her tomb remains elusive, like a curse on those who seek it. Some believe she was buried alongside Akhenaten in the royal tomb at Amarna. Others insist her tomb lies near that of her stepson, Tutankhamun, in the Valley of the Kings. In 2015, radar scans of Tutankhamun's tomb revealed hidden chambers. Some speculated they might house Nefertiti's remains, the lost queen buried behind a sealed wall. But no definitive proof has emerged. The mystery has driven modern Egyptologists to obsession. Nicholas Reeves, a prominent British archaeologist, believes Tutankhamun's tomb was originally built for Nefertiti. He points to architectural anomalies, unfinished doorways, and frescoes that may have been altered. But Egypt's Ministry of Antiquities remains divided. Is Egypt hiding the truth? Is Nefertiti's tomb so politically charged that its discovery would shake the national narrative? These questions echo like whispers in a royal crypt. Even more unsettling is the suggestion that Nefertiti's body may already have been found, but misidentified. In 1898, a cache of mummies was uncovered in tomb KV35. Among them were two unidentified women, one of whom showed signs of royal burial, but her face was mutilated. Was this an ancient attempt to destroy her legacy? The theory is chilling. Nefertiti's enemies may have not only killed her, but defaced her corpse to erase her from eternity. In Egyptian belief, to destroy the face was to destroy the soul. And then there's the bust. The iconic sculpture of Nefertiti, discovered in 1912 by German archaeologists, now resides in Berlin's Neues Museum. With her elegant neck, symmetrical features, and tranquil gaze, she's become the face of ancient beauty. But that image may be a lie. CT scans of the bust reveal an inner layer with different facial features, older, less idealized. Was the bust altered to fit a propaganda vision? Was it a mask to hide her true identity? Or worse, was it never Nefertiti at all? The layers of deception are thick. Nefertiti may have ruled as a man. She may have died in exile or been assassinated. Her mummy may lie unrecognized. Or she may still be hidden, waiting beneath the sands in a tomb no one dares open. Whatever the truth, the silence is deafening. Her story is not a myth. It is a warning that power has a price, and memory can be manipulated by the victors. Nefertiti's story doesn't end in death. It lives on in the fragments she left behind, the shattered temples of Amarna, the faded reliefs in forgotten tombs, the whispers in museum corridors. Her influence, though buried, never vanished. She was perhaps Egypt's most radical queen, daring to rewrite not only religion but the very image of power. She stood as an equal to kings and may have worn the crown herself. And for that, the ancient world turned on her. Today, Nefertiti has become a symbol of mystery, of resilience, of rebellion against a system that feared a powerful woman. She is both a historical figure and a mythological ghost. Her beauty is remembered, but her rule is erased. Her bust is celebrated, but her name is forgotten in temples. The world remembers her face, but not her story. But that is changing. Each new discovery, each broken seal, each translated fragment brings her closer to resurrection. In the vaults of lost history, Nefertiti is not silent. She is waiting, watching, and perhaps laughing, knowing that though her enemies tried to destroy her, they only made her legend stronger. This is not just the story of a queen. It is the story of power punished, truth buried, and a woman who refused to be erased. And it is exactly the kind of tale that belongs in the torture vault.